Manchester City star Joe arrested for fourth time as courts demand debt repaid. Joe, who in 2008 became Manchester City's record signing for £19 million, has found himself in trouble with the law over unpaid child maintenance fees and owes £31,500. Former Manchester City striker Joe has been arrested for the fourth time over unpaid child maintenance fees. Joe, 38, was detained in his homeland of Brazil on Tuesday, with the ex-striker said to owe £31,500. Officers located Joe, whose full name is João Alves de Assis Silva, while he was attending a barbecue at a street food kiosk in Barra da Tijuca, Rio de Janeiro. A warrant was the father of eight's arrest, was linked to a 2024 process involving unpaid child maintenance. The debt stated in the court order was 220,744 reais, £31,500, and police took Joe to the 16th ADP in Barra da Tijuca after carrying out his arrest. Last year, the former Brazil international was detained twice in Campinas and once in Contagem over the same issue. Ex-girlfriend Mayara Quidoroli was quick to comment on reports of Joe's arrest in 2024. Although it's not known if the debt is related to their son, João Gabriel. Quidoroli said in a video posted on Instagram, "I chose a sane father for my son. I can't receive the pension correctly. When he pays on the right day, he pays in different amounts, so I can't receive it correctly. The only thing set by law, he doesn't do correctly. It's always torture to get things, and always I'm considered wrong." Joe, who also played for Everton across 2 loan spells, had previously been freed after paying the sums demanded by the authorities. The 38-year-old retired from professional football for the second time earlier this year, following a spell with Brazilian 4th Division side Itabirito. It was the 14th different club of Joe's senior career, including 3 stints with Corinthians. His 6 years in Europe began with CSKA Moscow, who sold him to City for £19 million in 2008, becoming the Premier League club's record signing under former manager Mark Hughes. Joe scored just 6 goals in 42 games for City, who loaned him out to both Everton and Galatasaray. He returned to Brazil in 2011, signing for Internacional. After joining Atlético Mineiro a year later, Joe rediscovered his form and returned to the national team. Having scored 2 goals to help his country win the Confederations Cup, he was named in Brazil's squad as they hosted the 2014 World Cup. He made his first appearance in their second group game, coming on as a substitute in a goalless draw with Mexico. Joe made another substitute appearance during Brazil's victory over Chile on penalties in the round of 16. He then played the full 90 minutes as the hosts lost 3-0 to the Netherlands in the third-place playoff. It proved to be his 20th and final game for Brazil. Newcastle confirm injury blow ahead of Manchester City fixture. Eddie Howe has provided an injury update ahead of the Premier League clash with Manchester City on Saturday. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has revealed he will again be without Yoane Wissa for the clash with Manchester City this weekend. City are looking to cut the gap between themselves and early pace setters Arsenal on Saturday. Pep Guardiola's side are currently 4 points behind Arsenal in second place, but with the Gunners not playing until Sunday, City could pile the pressure on them with a win at St James's Park. City have won just one of their previous 3 league trips to Newcastle. They return to Premier League action this weekend, looking to continue their good run of form, having lost just once in the previous 14 outings in all competitions. Newcastle have struggled in the early months of the campaign, and they will be without one of their big-money summer signings at St James's Park on Saturday. Wissa has yet to make his Newcastle debut due to injury, and his return to action has now been further delayed. Newcastle had initially hoped he would return before the international break, with Howe revealing that the forward is stepping up his rehabilitation work on the training pitch. "We have a bit of a mixed bag," Howe told BBC Newcastle via the Chronicle. "Anthony Gordon, we will wait and see. It will be touch and go for the game. Sandro Tonali should be fine. Nick Pope had concussion, but he has passed the protocols there, so he should be fine. We have still got a few who we are nursing back. Tino Livramento, Lewis Hall in the early stages, although he has made a couple of really good appearances for England under-21s. Yoane Wissa is still out, but starting to up his work now. So yeah, we are looking in a healthier place." Manchester City might get the chance to rekindle £150 million transfer plan this weekend. Manchester City briefly considered a move for Tino Livramento in the summer, and they are admirers of Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes as well. It has been nearly 17 years since Manchester City last signed a player from Newcastle United. The £6 million arrival of Shay Given in February 2009, coming in the early days of the Abu Dhabi era. It's not for the want of trying that nobody has moved to Manchester from the northeast. Since then, City have held a strong interest in fullback Tino Livramento and midfielder Bruno Guimaraes in recent seasons. But both remain at St James's Park and could line up against the Blues this weekend. Some would position these two clubs as equals now, with Newcastle enjoying significant backing of their own from Saudi Arabia. But in the modern era, they have struggled to make the most of the funding available to them. City's revenue far outstrips Newcastle's, and in an era of profit and sustainability rules PSR, that means something. While City sit comfortably within their PSR limits, Newcastle have come close to breaching it, and Champions League qualification on the last day of last season dramatically changed the picture for them. Had they been a Europa League club this season, Livramento might be at the Etihad now. The 22-year-old is a player City like as they look for a long-term solution at right-back. Matheus Nunes is enjoying his strongest run of form in that position, but Livramento is likely to remain on the radar for when an upgrade is required, which is likely to be next summer. Admiration for Guimaraes dates back longer than that at City, and the 28-year-old Brazil international has been a player they considered as part of a midfield rebuild. Newcastle have been able to quote astronomical fees for him, and that has put suitors off. He is clearly devoted to the tune. Nico Gonzalez, Tijani Reinders, and Ryan Cherki have all arrived instead in 2025 at a combined cost of £130 million. That trio of midfielders were only marginally more expensive than the kind of fee Newcastle have pushed for their main man. Given those signings and Guimaraes' age, that is probably a deal that has now passed its sell-by date, unlike Livramento. Newcastle's need to sell has eased after extracting £125 million from Liverpool for Alexander Isak, but they have built a strong squad, and one that will expect to be playing Champions League football every season. In the Premier League, they have started this campaign poorly. Ahead of Saturday's meeting with City, they are 14th and only a couple of points above the relegation zone. They will clearly rise up the table as the season progresses, but if they miss out on the Champions League, the financial pressure might increase and it could lead to some players seeking a new challenge. So if City do still have an interest in Livramento and Guimaraes, winning at St James this weekend could go some way to making a deal more likely. They pulled away from a move for Livramento early last summer when it became clear Newcastle had no need to sell and could demand a premium fee. It might be a different story in 2026, and that could yet mean the two clubs doing business again next year. Manchester City are bracing for a chaotic winter spell, with Pep Guardiola juggling a striker shortage and a growing midfield dilemma as the fixture list tightens. Haaland faces 11 games in 38 days as Marmoush heads to AFCON. Omar Marmoush is set to miss as many as 11 City fixtures when he joins Egypt for the Africa Cup of Nations, potentially leaving Erling Haaland to shoulder a brutal December-January schedule. Egypt want Marmoush released as early as December 14th for a friendly with Nigeria, though City are under no obligation to comply as the date falls outside a FIFA window. Even if he stays for the trip to Crystal Palace that day, he is still likely to depart before the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Brentford on December 17th. AFCON kicks off on December 21st, with Egypt among the favourites. A deep run would see Marmoush miss Premier League clashes with West Ham, Nottingham Forest and Sunderland, plus potential FA Cup and Carabao Cup ties, and even the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. His return for City's Champions League trip to Bodo Glimt on January 19th also looks unlikely if Egypt reach the latter stages. With Rayan Ait-Nouri also away with Algeria, Guardiola may be forced to rest Haaland to avoid burnout. That opens the door for academy options. Divine Mukasa, who impressed as a false nine in the Carabao Cup, or natural striker Mahamadou Sangare, scorer of 9 goals at youth level this season. Reinders fights for his place, amid Cherki's rise, midfielder Tijani. Reinders returns from international duty in good form after scoring and assisting in the Netherlands' 4-0 win over Lithuania, but his City place is under threat. The £46 million summer signing started the season strongly, but has begun just 2 of the last 5 League and Champions League games, and has been benched in back-to-back Premier League fixtures. Reinders' numbers remain solid 5 assists and a steady shot output, but the resurgence of Ryan Cherki, plus competition from Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden, has tightened Guardiola's midfield rotation. To date, City have won all 5 games Reinders hasn't started, compared to 7 of 12 when he has a statistic likely more coincidence than concern. But one the Dutchman will be eager to flip, still upbeat about his City experience. Reinders insists he understands the rotation battle. But with a tough trip to St James's Park ahead, he'll be pushing hard to regain his starting spot and re-establish his early season momentum. Manchester City might have to make uncomfortable Erling Haaland decision, and Pep won't want to. Erling Haaland has been in incredible goal-scoring form for Manchester City and Norway this season, but his workload could become a concern. Erling Haaland starts games, and Erling Haaland scores goals. That's pretty much how it's gone this season. Haaland has been in incredible form for club and country this term, and returns to Manchester on the back of leading Norway to their first World Cup in a